Stellenbosch University student Babalo Ndwayana has walked out of a disciplinary hearing at the institution. Ndwayana, you will remember, his belongings were urinated on last month by fellow student Tiens du Toit. Du Toit now facing disciplinary action. To talk us through what happened today, let's speak now to his legal representative, Nomonde Gxilishe, who joins us from Cape Town. Nomonde, thanks for your time this evening. This hearing took place today. Tell us why your client decided to walk out. And I do believe you were with him at the time.
That is correct. I was with him this morning, and we've received numerous reports that he interrupted the hearing by walking out of the meeting this morning. And that is why we would like to clarify that he did not interrupt the meeting. There was quite a few preliminary issues that are procedural that needed to be discussed this morning and dealt with before we could even get to the merits. And based on how that was treated and dealt with, our client was not pleased and did not feel that the hearing will be dealt with objectively by the panel that has been appointed by the university. The issue that he is faced with and the matter that is being dealt with at the moment is a very serious one against him, which has affected him very negatively to a very large extent. He would have appreciated to receive that kind of treatment, or for the matter to receive that kind of treatment from the university itself. Unfortunately, from this morning when we arrived at the university during the hearing, the way the matters were dealt with, just the preliminary issues, he was not pleased and was not prepared to be part of the hearing.
Can you let us in on what those preliminary issues were?
Well, it's really one issue which relates to whether we were permitted to be present with him during the hearing. The University Code of Conduct makes provision for a student or a person materially involved in the hearing to be supported and be accompanied by either a friend or family member or any other interested person in the hearing. And that is the basis on which we wanted to be part of the hearing with him as observers and just to offer his support. His family is outside of Cape Town. He does not have that many friends within the area of the university, and that is the issue that needed to be dealt with this morning. We are unable to share extensive details as to how that went, as the hearing is a private one. But yeah, that is the preliminary issue that needed to be dealt with this morning before the matter goes ahead.
Do I understand correctly that there was also an issue with the makeup of the panel that was put together for this hearing? Can you share with us what the makeup of that panel was and what perhaps the issue would have been with that?
Well, we are yet to formally write back to the university itself, and that is why we are unable to give extensive detail this morning. But the panel is constituted and made up of different members of the university from different departments. I believe it's constituted in terms of the code of the university, professors, law students, student affairs members. So yeah, that is how it's constituted. And yeah, like I said, the details will be firstly published with the university or provided to the university before we can speak to the media about it fully.
You obviously can't give us details about the makeup of that panel, but can you share with me whether Babalo was unhappy or felt that his best interests would not be represented by that panel?
Obviously, him feeling that the panel is not objective affects him believing that the outcome of the hearing will not be fair. He did not see the hearing being dealt with objectively, meaning that he already knew that the outcome suspected that the outcome of the hearing would not be unfavorable to him.
Can you tell us whether Tiens du Toit was there and who he had with him as a representative or a party of interest, as you called it?
I did not see Tiens. I do not identify with him. I don't know him, but I did not see him this morning. We did not get a chance to interact with him.
This must have left Babalo feeling rather deflated. We've heard repeatedly from the university right from the start that they want justice to prevail and they won't leave any stone unturned to ensure that they get to the bottom of what happened and that justice prevails. This young man must feel quite deflated at this point in this process.
That is how Babalo has felt since the beginning of this incident. You can imagine the level at which his human dignity was deflated, to put it in your words, or violated. And it's been a traumatic experience for him. And his expectation has always been that he will get the necessary support from the university on whose premises the incident occurred. So yes, you are right. He left the university today feeling demoralized, but he has his support. We are backing him up, and we will be assisting him with whatever instructions that he gives us in terms of moving forward with the matter.
The process that was announced by the university after this incident took place was rather thick. In terms of the Central Disciplinary Committee, the Equality Unit, an investigation, a panel being appointed, an independent body investigating, and the list goes on and on and on. One would think then, even if we are reading this and feeling like, wow, this sounds like a lot to come to terms with and to understand, you would need somebody by your side that can take your hand and help you through it so that you aren't in a position where you feel like you're being taken advantage of or where you feel like you have no chance at seeing justice prevail. In your experience, this would have been important for him to have somebody like you by his side just to help him through the process alone. So it must also be quite disappointing then that even at the starting point already there's an issue with your presence at this very start of the hearing.
Correct. He's a 19-year-old man. He is a first-year student, very unfamiliar with anything to do with legal processes, whether it be informal or formal. It's something totally new to him. He was shocked at the very beginning at the incident and left traumatized, like I've already said. There's nothing more that he needed than the support from his legal counsel and his family. But his family not being in the area at the moment, we are the closest people that he found himself with. And that's exactly what he needed. And that's the only thing that we wanted to offer him this morning. The disciplinary process is quite clear, and he cannot have a person legally representing him during an internal hearing. But the only reason that we were with him at the hearing this morning was to offer him support and to be with him and make him comfortable during such a difficult hearing for him, where he's already feeling traumatized, where he's in a state of shock and anxiety. He needs something familiar and not walk into a room full of people he doesn't know.
Or people that he can connect with or relate to in any way. Just very quickly, what happens next in the timeline, Nomonde?
We await further information from the university in terms of what happened after we left. We are in communication with Babalo and looking at a plan of action moving forward. Like I said earlier, we can't disclose to a large extent exactly what the plan is. We still need to write to the university about what happened today and our reasons for not partaking in the hearing and why Babalo requested to excuse himself from the hearing. So we just need to deal with that point first, and then from there only then can we communicate further.
Stellenbosch University student whose property was urinated on, that's Babalo Ndwayana, by a fellow student, Dennis du Toit, has expressed disappointment in the handling of the situation by the panel on the hearing against du Toit. Following the incident, the university appointed Justice Sisi Rapempe, who would chair an inquiry into incidents of racism at the school. Now on Wednesday, a disciplinary hearing, I beg your pardon, against du Toit began, to which Ndwayana was invited as a witness. He, however, with his legal representation, left during the proceedings as they believe the panel was not impartial and objective. Let's get you more on this. We speak to Nomonde Gxilishe, principal attorney at the UNISA Law Clinic in Cape Town, which is representing Babalo Ndwayana. Thank you very much for availing yourself this morning, Sis Nomonde. What do we need to understand about what happened on Wednesday?
Good morning, and thank you for having us here. As a law clinic, UNISA Law Clinic in Cape Town, we have been nominated and appointed as Babalo's representatives. While the hearing was indeed scheduled for Wednesday, the 22nd of June, against Mr. du Toit, and prior to the hearing actually commencing on the merits of the actual case, the incident itself, there were preliminary issues that needed to be addressed, particularly whether we are permitted to enter the room with Babalo just for purposes of supporting him and observing the hearing. Now, that matter was, just that issue was dealt with quite extensively and took a long time to resolve. And with just how that issue was dealt with in the morning of the 22nd, prior to going into the merits of the matter, Babalo was not satisfied that the hearing will be dealt with objectively, as just that issue on its own was not dealt with objectively.
What then does this mean for the process, rather? And do we have it correct that you staged a walkout?
Yes, we basically, after determining that the hearing is not going to be impartial at all, we were instructed that he does not want to be part of the proceedings. We informed the university, the committee that was chairing the proceeding over the hearing. We informed them that Babalo has decided he will not be part of this hearing, as the objectivity of the council or the committee is under question.
We understand that you were not allowed to go inside with Babalo, and he's also worried about the impartiality of those who will be leading the hearing.
That's exactly it. That's exactly the reason why he decided he does not want to be part of it.
So what does this mean, I guess, for the process? Is this it?
I don't believe that it is it. When we left the hearing on the 22nd, nothing had been decided. However, the following day we did receive report that the hearing proceeded. However, the university is yet to make a determination. So the hearing proceeded without him.
What is your advice to your client? Does he feel that the university is taking this seriously?
Not at all, and not at all. It is not receiving the urgency, and the sensitivity of the matter does not seem to be recognized by the university. The first point of question for him is, why did it take so long for the university to take action? That is something that also left him feeling a little bit demoralized and not having too much faith in the university itself. So he is not very happy at the moment. And even with how the proceedings went, he was hoping that Wednesday would sort of be the day that this matter comes to an end and he gets justice in this whole thing being dealt with by the university. However, he was left feeling very despondent and disappointed. However, we as his representatives, we have looked at solutions and other options for him as at the end of the day, we do need to help him get a solution in this matter and put it to an end.
Sure. Other options include what? We remember him going to the police station. Our colleagues covering that story in Cape Town. So if this process outside of the university, or rather if the university processes do not work, what options are available to him outside?
He has got civil remedies as an option. And dealing with the criminal court case that was, or criminal matter that was reported to the SAPS, indeed it was reported, it was actually reported in May already. We were also disappointed to discover that since then no real action has been taken. For example, the perpetrator has not been arrested. He hasn't been given that much information as to the progress of the investigation. So that was the other disappointing part in this whole proceedings. But like I told you, we are in it to assist him. That is why we even went to the police station the day after the hearing to actually hold them accountable regarding the progress of the criminal complaint that was laid about a month ago. Since, all the evidence statements were collected, we wanted to know what is the progress, what is the delay in this whole matter. We believe that there is prima facie evidence that the crime was committed, and so what is it that's causing the delay in the matter actually going ahead?
Very quickly for us, what does this mean, especially for his schooling? Is he still attending class? Babalo, that is.
He is still attending. He had to pause for some time, just obviously to deal with this whole, to come to terms with what happened and to prepare for his exams. He is still a student at the university, yes.
Nomonde Gxilishe is the principal attorney at UNISA Law Clinic in Cape Town, talking to us about the case of Babalo. Thank you very much for availing